Arsenal and Manchester City feature in this week's highly anticipated Champions League quarter-finals, but fans attending the games are on high alert after ISIS threatened to target the fixtures. So this sinister image, threatening the 4 stadiums hosting the matches, was posted by the Al Azaim Foundation, a media channel linked to the terrorist group, just weeks after they killed hundreds at a concert hall attack in Moscow. With one of tonight's fixtures taking place at Arsenal's Emirates Stadium in London, the Met Police said that they are aware of the threats and they insist they have a robust plan in place to protect supporters. Supporters, by the way, who will be filing out of that stadium any moment now. GBNews reporter Charlie Peters sent us this report from the Emirates.
So the terror threat across Britain is substantial, and that threat has remained in place after an ISIS-aligned media outlet has made a series of threats against the football matches occurring tonight and tomorrow in the Champions League. This is Arsenal's first quarter-final in the competition since 2010, but the main story here isn't necessarily the football, but that security threat. The Met said this afternoon that in collaboration with counter-terrorism police, they did have a robust plan in place to reassure the public, but at the same time they have asked fans here to be vigilant and report anything that they see that is suspicious.
Yeah, well, indeed. Look, it's worth noting that we are 3 minutes into extra time of that fixture, according to my computer in front of me here, which does mean that the fans will be coming out of that ground any moment now. Charlie caught up with some of those fans and just asked them, really, whether or not they are actually scared of ISIS.
Overly worried about the security. We've got to have faith in the British police and the, security, everything that they've set up. So have faith and hopefully everything will be all right.
It's not about the religion. It's about some people who want to scare other people, and we are only here for football.
I used to live here, and we had threats growing up, and you just have to get on with life, and you can walk down the street and anything can happen to you, so you just have to keep going and hope for the best.
Well, I'm delighted to welcome now Chris Phillips, a former head of the National Counter-Terrorism Security Office. Chris, look, thank you very, very much. So what's going to be taking place now in terms of a police security threat as those fans prepare to leave the ground?
Well, of course, the leaving the ground is actually one of the more dangerous parts, because that's when rogue elements can get in. But I would say this, if you're a terrorist organisation, you don't go and tell the police when you're going to do it and where you're going to do it, because that's almost guaranteed to make any attempt fail. I think the issue here, though, is the fact that they can't make contact with their operatives within Europe. And they're just issuing edicts to any idiot out there that wants to go and make themselves famous, to go and do something stupid. And of course, that could happen. But the fact that the threat level didn't go up is telling me, really, that the police weren't taking this massively seriously.
Yeah, and I think this is, as you said there, a call for anyone who can just pull a kitchen knife out the drawer or do whatever they will. And that is a concern, though. Lone wolf attacks spurred on by those kind of drastic posters that we saw earlier, which was saying kill them all on it, wasn't it?
Yeah, we've had this before, actually, where the Al-Qaeda and ISIS have literally put out messages saying, look, just kill everyone, use cars, use vans, use knives, use guns, whatever you can get hold of, just go and kill people. And it's a hint at desperation, but there is always that concern, Patrick, that there are people in our country and across Europe that would go and do that. So
but how do you spot them in a crowd? This is the thing.
Concerned.
I'm not entirely sure how many tens of thousands of people the Emirates holds, 50, 60,000, I would imagine. You've got 60,000, thank you very much. So there's 60,000 people piling out of that stadium any moment now, and a massive crowd of people waiting outside the ground. I mean, how on earth are the police and our security forces going to spot someone?
Well, that is the most difficult thing. But, of course, there are very good CCTV cameras in the area. I mean, that's one of the big bonuses over the last few years. And, of course, I think the big concern, not so much around the stadium, but actually in the transport hubs and the transport away from the ground and to the ground, those are the areas that are more likely to be targeted by any would-be terrorists.
And how concerned should we be at the moment with the increased situation that's going on in Gaza?
Well, this is just one other thing to add into the mix of people that think the West are evil. And there are an enormous number of people across Europe who feel like that, who live within our societies. And any one of those could go on and commit some kind of heinous crime like this. And we've seen it, we've seen it in Moscow, we've seen it in Paris, we've seen it across France. There are causes for concern, and I think it's really imperative for us as a nation to make sure that we are alert. We do report suspicious behaviour and make sure the police get told about it.
Indeed. And you think it's an intelligence-led decision not to raise a security threat. A lot of members of the public, myself included, will be thinking, well, hang on a minute, if someone slaps a poster out there saying, we're ISIS and we want you to kill them all, maybe that is the kind of thing that should increase the terror threat, no?
Yeah, no, not at all, Patrick. The simple fact is they go on intelligence, actionable intelligence. You can put a threat out. I mean, I worked in sporting events when the IRA were dialing up and telling us that they'd left bombs.
Just to say, sorry to cut across you, just because we're a bit pressed for time, and I want to get you on this, because Spain have put thousands of extra police officers on the streets ahead of that game because of the same threat.
Yeah, and they really feel the threat in Spain. It's a real issue there, as it is in France and Germany. But I think that our police have already got this into the system. CT is part of every event.
OK, lovely stuff. Look, Chris, thank you very, very much. A reassuring voice, and hopefully you are proved right. We will, I suppose we'll find out shortly, won't we? But that was the former head of National Counter-Terrorism Security Office, Chris Phillips.